Join me as I take on the challenge to master essential phrasal verbs that will help me improve my English skills in just a week. I am up for the challenge, and I hope you are too. Improving your English skills requires mastering many different aspects of the language. And one of the most important ones is phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are everywhere in English communication. From everyday conversations to business meetings and even in movies and TV shows. If you want to sound more natural and confident in English, learning phrasal verbs is a must. When it comes to phrasal verbs, many English learners struggle with understanding their meanings, usage, and pronunciation. It's easy to get confused, especially when a single phrasal verb can have multiple meanings, depending, of course, on the context. For example, the phrasal verb get on can mean to board a bus or a train, to have a good relationship with someone, or to make progress with a task. This can be overwhelming, and it's common for learners to avoid using phrasal verbs altogether. Another challenge with phrasal verbs is that they often don't follow logical rules. Unlike regular verbs, phrasal verbs are idiomatic expressions that have developed over time, and their meanings can't be deduced from the individual words. This means that learners need to memorize each phrasal verb and its meaning, which can be time-consuming and frustrating. So I'm just going to back up a little bit here to explain the meaning of deduce. Deduce means to find a solution by thinking carefully about known facts. For instance, we can't deduce very much from these figures. So based on what we're seeing right now, based on the numbers that we have, based on the data that we have, based on the information that we have, we can't really make something out of it. We can't really find a solution. We can't really figure out the answer. Now I'm going to dive back into phrasal verbs. So furthermore, phrasal verbs are often used in informal conversations, which can make them difficult to learn from textbooks or formal language classes. If you're not exposed to phrasal verbs in context, it's hard to understand how to use them naturally in your own conversations. So, what can you do to overcome these challenges and master phrasal verbs? Let's dive in and explore some essential phrasal verbs that you need to know. First up is speak up. First up is speak up. Okay, that's interesting. First up is speak up, which means to learn or acquire a new skill or a habit. For example, I've been trying to pick up Spanish for months, but it's not easy. Hopefully, English is easier for you. Another example would be, don't bother about the computer manual. You'll pick it up as you go along. Next is get away, which means to escape or take a break from something. For example, I need to get away from the city for a few days to relax. I had to get away from the party. It was awful. Another important one is turn down, which means to reject an offer or invitation. For example, I was offered a job, but I turned it down because it didn't pay well. Another example would be, he asked her to marry him, but she turned him down. That's a sad one, but it's just an example here. And finally, there is put off, which means to postpone or delay something. For example, I've been putting off my homework for weeks, but I need to get it done today. The meeting has been put off for a week, or a month, or a couple of months, or a couple of weeks. Now, let's take a closer look at the phrasal verb get over, which can be particularly tricky. On the surface, get over simply means to recover from an illness or a difficult experience. However, in different contexts, get over can mean to overcome an obstacle, to accept and move on from a past event, or even to visit someone's home. For example, I'm still trying to get over the flu, but I'm feeling better now. Or, it took me months to get over the breakup, but I'm fine now. In this video, we've covered some essential phrasal verbs that you need to know to improve your English skills. Mastering these phrasal verbs will help you sound more natural and confident in your conversations. And they'll also help you understand everyday English communication more easily. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to leave a comment below with your favorite phrasal verb or a question about phrasal verbs. And if you want more English learning tips, check out my next video on how to improve your English vocabulary quickly and easily.